So here's your review for chapter 9. Okay. For your first question, if I give you guys something like this, cosine of f equals to 1 over n. Okay. Find the secant of f. It's kind of like the stuff you're doing right now.
Okay. So they want the secant and secant of cos.
Yep. So what did you do with the fraction? Just flip it. Good. You just flip. Because cosine and secant, those are reciprocal functions.
So just put m over 1.
Yep. Okay, so you just flip it and you get m over 1 or just n. Okay. So make sure you guys know which ones go together. So secant and cosine, cosecant and sine, tan and cosine. Right, those are really important. So the next one's like a quadrant question. If I tell you guys your cos f equals a negative point, I don't know, 4, and the cosecant f is greater than 0. Okay, what quadrant are we in? Now this is like the first thing you just did. Okay, so draw your little is cosine positive or negative? Good. So cosine's negative. The cosecant is positive. Remember, this stands for sine. This stands for cosine. There you go. Good job.
Wait, so this one would be sine, so sine would have to be positive.
Right, exactly.
And this one has to be negative. So if you go to sine, it has to be 2.
Yep, you got it. Good job. Yes, you definitely want to know that this holds the same properties as the sine. So cosecant is positive quadrant. Good job.
And cos is this.
Cos is negative because of that. So cosine is going to be negative anywhere besides 4 and 1. Okay, so we don't want reciprocals go together. It's super important. How about, okay, now this one's a little tricky. Actually, I gave you a different one. Sorry. This one kind of has to do with the ones when we're drawing triangles, like to figure out stuff. So you're going to tell you some things about your trig function. So it tells you that we're in quadrant 4. So when you guys draw your picture in quadrant 4, remember how when we drew our triangle that had look like a bow tie? Right, the bow tie kind of triangle, so it has to look something like this. Now since we're in quadrant 4, I only want to use just this quadrant 4 part. Right, so just the part that was in actually like quadrant 4. That's it. Okay. So what you're doing is creating a right triangle. Now your angle is always in the middle part. So like this is angle A you're dealing with, something toward the middle. Now if you notice sine is negative 3/5. What is sine? Okay, it goes with cosecant, yep. If you're using like a right triangle, like think of a soapachilla. Sine is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay. So in your quadrant 4, is sine going to be positive or negative? Good, that's why this is negative. We talked, remember that negative isn't like the distance, it's because of like what quadrant you're in, or like the direction. So, our sine, we wanted to do opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, opposite would be 3, hypotenuse would be 5. How can we figure out this missing piece? Okay, Gabe's still going to know the angle, but if you have known 2 out of the 3 sides. Good, yep, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, good. Right, remember the hypotenuse always has to be same, yep, good. Yeah, it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. No, that's fine. If it's not 3, 4, 5 triangle or not 1 and 2 at triangle, you can always use this. Right, so it's good review. Alright, so now I'm asking you guys about this tangent. So what would you guys use to find tangent? Good, alright, so what's the O over the identity? Good. Yep, opposite. Here's your adjacent, so 3 over 4. Good job. I think this is probably the hardest question to put on the test.
Oh, I like that.
You like that stuff? Yeah, you just have to make sure you draw it in the right quadrant. Oh, actually, I lied. We're not done yet. Speaking of quadrants, are we positive or negative in the 4th quadrant? Yeah. Negative. Negative 3 over 4. Okay. This is a lot of stuff to look at, right? Just make sure you draw your picture in the right one. Right? You got to label according to what you know.
So whenever it asks for like another one or like tangent, you have to do a
Draw a triangle. Yep. Exactly. That's a good way to think about it. Whenever you're given, like, if they give you one trig function and ask you about another, usually they'll tell you something like you're in the quadrant or measure the angles in quadrant 2. That's kind of like the clue of where to draw your triangle. Yeah, because triangle. Yep.
Oh, so then they literally just tell you what quadrant you're in?
Yeah, yeah. They should say something with that. The only other thing they might do, they might say like sine's negative and tan is positive. You know, you use those to figure out what quadrant it is. Yeah. Okay, so here's another one. We can just say. C is a 7 and 4. Angle y to the nearest unit. So this is kind of like what we did today, like almost the same exact idea. So here's your, I should have done a little theta in there. So we can times theta in the nearest unit. You guys want to try it first, or you want me to go through it?
Wait, going to the
Yeah, no, okay. So this is your adjacent, right?
Yeah.
This one. Good, okay. So you said cosine? Good, yeah. So cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse, right? A over h. Okay, what do you have to do to get your degree? The key of it. Second, yep. So go ahead and do second cos forward. Have it. Did you guys get this as your degree? Okay, so now to turn it into minutes, what do you remember? Second half, good, and we gotta go to choice 4. Yep, good job. Alright, so here we go. 55 degrees, right, 9 minutes. 0 is obviously 0, 0 point something seconds. 55 degrees, 9. And it's almost set up like the exact ones we did like on the back of that sheet.
What do you mean for 0 over 1?
0 over 1, should the flip it? Or is that where it's flipped? Oh, it's just 0. 0 divided by 9 is 0. A lot of this is like multiple choice stuff. Right, you guys have express as a positive acute angle. I gave you guys like the cosine of negative 330. Oh, that works. Okay. So these look kind of weird, the wording. What does acute angle mean? Small? Yep, it's less than 90 degrees. So when you have something like negative 330, that means you're going down 330 degrees. So if you're in the eighth quadrant now, is everything cosine positive or negative? But it's still going to be positive. And if this is negative 330, and this is like your 360, what's the difference in there? 30, good. So really, this is going to be the same thing as cosine 30 degrees, and that's what they're looking for. And they say like positive acute angle. They just want you to know what would this be equal to if this is,
So they just want 30.
Not, they have to do cosine 30. You'll see this multiple choice, it'll have the stuff like in front of it. One thing you can do though, if it's like multiple choice and they want to know which one is equal, right? Can you figure out what the cosine of negative 330 is? Yeah. So you can do.
So were they like trying to trick us into writing cosine, or they just write 30?
No, I think there are trig functions in front of everything. So see how these are exactly the same. Right, so you could do that tomorrow. So if they want to know anything that's like equivalent, use your multiple choice. It should equal what you have. You can always do that. Right. So next is a picture. I gave you guys this picture on your like when we first started talking about like what sine and cosine was. Sometimes it looks nice, sometimes it doesn't though. Smaller. There we go, that looks way better. And then I'm sorry, it's not really exactly good. There we go, that's better. Okay. So to give you guys, I just want to leave on your review sheets for like at the end. Let's say this is like F, Y, Z, W, let's see. Okay, so they want to know which one of these. They tell you that your radius is 1. They tell you that xt equals 1. So if you guys have a radius of 1, that means you're on a unit circle. Right? That's when you always have a radius of 1. So that unit part right here is going to be 1. Right? They want to know which one is going to be equal to cosine theta. Like what line segment? Would it be like xy, yt, zw? So this kind of was thinking like the very first thing we learned about when we did cosine and sine was that you had the cosine first and then the sine, right, in your order of pairs. So cosine is like the x, sine is like the y. Alright. So with your cosine, right, if this is on the unit circle, right, that's the point on it, this is off it. If they're kind of tricky, you want to look for one on it. Right. So if we were doing this point to go over and then up. The over part, this part right here, is that like x or y? Think about the axis. This would be like the x, right? This part here is like your y, the up and down part. So if they want to know cosine, what's cosine like, the x or the y? The x. Good. So the x part is this part here. That line segment. I should have named these different things. Do another one like that?
Wait, so the x, y, x?
Yeah. I mean, I think I should have named these other things. Hang on. Let's get a new one. How about if I name this like A, B, C, D? like the y, cosines like this. Right, you want to get to this point. So think about like which way you would move. Good job, nice. That's exactly right. Another way you guys can think about it too, you might like this better. I don't know. Right. If you were going off of this angle, BE, yeah, good. Yeah, no, sine is going to be BE. And if you don't like thinking about it like this, you could also think, well, sine is the opposite over hypotenuse, right? Well, if you put the opposite, BE over 1, it's just BE. So it's what you guys should say. Let's see, it was 1 is BE. Does that help a little bit more? And you have one like that at the end of like your packet. So, okay, what can you guys tell me about things positive in quadrant 2? What's positive there? Sine, good, and what other one? Yes, great. Okay, good. When you have questions that are that fast, like they're really fast. So 18 questions sounds like a lot, but not bad. Right, if I give you guys cosecant x equals -4, what is the value of sine x? Close.
4.
You have to flip it. What's this 4 over? 1, okay. Now flip it. Yep, good. Right, is any whole numbers are going to be over 1? Just helps when you do your flip. You know, so it's -1 over 4. Okay. You just have to know that these are reciprocals of each other. Okay, so it's just like the memorizing C's and X's kind of go together. If you guys have maybe 2 pictures.
These are all 6.
I know, I think everyone is 4 now, so not good.
Oh, it's all because of names, I think so.
I want to know who started it.
It wasn't me.
No, I was thinking for Allie, so it was Allie, but it wasn't me because people were sick before me.
Okay. Alright, so I have 2 pictures up here.
How did I push your forge?
Wait, did you say we start swimming? Like, we can't. Or do we just hold it?
Okay, so when you guys are looking at your angles, okay, you know your A, S, T, C. Right. And you have a 30-degree reference angle. What's your order pair there?
The order change?
Yeah, for 30.
Why?
Wait. If it's going out.
Oh, 30.
Might be like
9 plus 3 over 2 and
Good.
1/2.
Good. Right.
That
30-degree order pair.
Because the thing is, I don't know like names for things.
Oh.
Wait, what was it?
Well, I want to know what the order pair is going to be in here.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it gives you 30, like it'll show that you need to know the order pair. But the top part is, if you're in the T quadrant, and Allie, you were kind of talking about like X and Y, this is your cosine and your sine. What do you know about cosine here? Yep, is it positive or negative?
Oh, it's negative.
Good. What about the sine? Negative 2, so that should be your order pair. Okay, just make sure you're careful with quadrant you fall into. Okay, what do you guys think about your 60?
Oh, that's just that.
Good, yep, so it's going to be 1/2, then right, go for your over 2. Good job. You're in the S quadrant, so sine should be positive, cosine is going to be negative here. Right, because the S stands for the sine.
Oh, okay, then it goes
Like this.
Yeah, I got that.
Got it? Okay. I think you have like 2 or 3 questions like that. If I give you... Right, what do you think you guys are doing? Right triangle, and then...
Things were
kind of like you should be able to go at least some way around, either left or right, it should go, or like A, B, C. Might look like left,
Because
left,
in our packet it was A, B, C, I don't know where to start.
Unless it tells you something like might say angle C is 90 degrees, then I would do this one at C and then kind of go backwards. But this one's wrong for you, luckily. Right, so I'm gonna give you something like an easy one. I need to do the secant of.
Will Kayla Welch please turn to the office? Kayla Welch, please report to the main office.
Alright, so you want to find the secant of A and the cosecant of A.
So
Yep, good, you can do that right here, nice. Then think about what is secant going? Cos, good. Right, so you gotta find the cos first, and then flip it. Yep, so the A over 8. So yep, so here's your cosine, A over 8. So the cosine is 4/5. So to get the secant, what would you do with it? Flip it and we get? Perfect. Good job. And why don't you guys try to get the cosecant? Do that one. Nope. So find the sign first. Okay. Good, so this is 3 over 5, nice, so your sine is 3 over 5, so to get your cosecant, you got it, good job. What you have? Okay. Alright, so we're going to do our problem. Another quadrant. You guys know how to, I gave you like, tangent of 120 degrees and 42 minutes is the nearest 10,000. Yeah, that's literally what we did today. Yeah, so type it right in.
Oh, okay.
I think what did I say, 10,000? So 4 decimal spots, 10, 100, 10,000. Negative 1.6842. Good job. And then we have a couple coterminal questions, like in the math. So coterminal. So coterminal means it ends at the same spot. So I gave you guys negative like 80 degrees. And I want to know what a picture would be that's coterminal of negative 80. So you drew where negative 80 is going to be. So you go down or up? Down, okay. So negative 80, oops, actually, not too far. Each of these is 90, right? Not going to go that far. So here's negative 80. Okay. Now you want to know what a graph is going to be coterminal to this is going to look like. So where would you draw your other part? Yeah, good, the other way around, perfect. Right, so it has to be something like this part is what you would see, like a wedge. So you wouldn't see the blue. This would be. Yeah, nice. It was a 280. Good job. That was great.
So you wouldn't want us to do 80, you just want us to do.
Well, you have to. You might need to like actually graph this so to see what the coterminal one's gonna look like. It doesn't ask you about this. It asks you what the coterminal one's gonna be. So it's gonna be like the one in the red, because that's gonna be the end of the same spot. Right. Because you went up. Good job. Right. So the next ones that you guys have are really easy. There's a lot of stuff like exact values. So if I said like find the secant of 30 with a rational denominator, how would you guys do that? This is what you're doing.
You would get radical 3 over 2.
Good, you found the cosine theorem first. Okay, good. You got radical 3 over 2, nice. So to get the secant, what'd you do with it? Good, so you got split. So we have 2 over radical 3, and when it says to leave with a rational denominator, that just means that you can't have radicals in the bottom. We have to multiply by. Good.
2 radical 3 over 3.
Perfect. Right. Oh. That you're flying.
You would have to go close to that like that.
Right, you gotta put your codes first. So the cosine of 30, that's coming from your ordered pair, radical 3 over 2, 1/2. Our cosine then sine. So this is like your cosine, that's why she did radical 3 over 2. You guess that. Okay. And then you have a lot of stuff. Wait, okay, go ahead.
So if it wants the code, like if it goes from the opposite one and wants the regular one, can I go flip it?
Well, they didn't want the cosine here, they want the secant.
Okay.
So you have to find the original one, and then flip it to get to the reciprocal. Want me to give you another one like this? Yeah. Okay, what about if I gave you guys how about, why don't you guys find the cosecant of 60 for me? Let's do that. What did you do that? That's exactly what you should do about it. Yeah. Perfect.
So when you want to flip it?
If they ask you for just, like, in your original problem, see how this is your reciprocal function? Okay, so you have to flip whenever you're dealing with those. And it just asks you for like sine, or cosine, or something, you don't flip or anything. If it's like one of the regular 3s, there's no flipping. But if it asks you for cosecant, secant, or cosine, you gotta flip the stuff. Only those reciprocals you flip. So here you got the sine of 60, which was radical 3 over 2. But because you really want to do cosecant, you gotta flip rationalize. But you should radical 3 over 3. Alright, you guys have another one with, let's do the product of, let's do cosine 60 and sine 45 in simplest radical form. What do you guys do with the word product? Multiplying it, okay. Alright, you can't use calculators, because it's talking about they want like in radical form, so you gotta let you know your ordered pairs here. Right, okay, good.
I know. It literally came out of like, I just got this today.
Would you guys put a place for cosine 60? 1/2, good job. Alright, what's your sine of 45? Perfect. Okay, so now we do your top on the bottom. What do you got? Perfect. Okay. That's it.
I always feel like I'm supposed to do more.
Sometimes they're not. Sorry, I have 2 more for you guys. Alright. So this one's a 2-part question. You want to draw the angle in standard position. And then we're going to find the exact value. Let's do the cosine of 330. What you guys get is, it's like set up for you already to draw. We're doing this, big circle. Okay, so if you were going to draw where 330 is, that means like standard position. Perfect, Ashlyn. Oh, sorry, I thought you were drawing. Go ahead, that's it. Yep. Yeah, good. So you start over here, right? We'd end somewhere around the spot. Okay, good. So that's your first part. You get a point for doing that. Not hard. Okay. But the exact value of the cosine of 330 comes with a little bit more stuff. So you have to go quadrant are you in? Or is cosine positive or negative? Positive, good. So you have cos, so you positive. What's your reference angle in here? 30, great. Okay, so we have the positive cosine of 30, which is? Perfect. That's your answer. Yeah, that's yep, like one of the first things we did. Reference angle. Alright, last question. We're supposed to like, so this is 45, this is 30, and these are right angles. Okay, this is like, let's do 6. Right, they want you to find the perimeter of the whole triangle in simple radical form. So they want you to figure out the whole part in the red. That's what they need by perimeter. Well, the first thing you should do is figure out how many degrees have to be in a triangle. 180. So this is 45, this is 90. Okay, hang on one second. If you're going to do this whole big piece, good, okay, you can do that. But the other two smaller ones, that's going to help you more. You kind of get stuck if you do it the other way. Right, but this is 90, this is 45. Let's see what this little top one going to be then. 45, good. And then if this one's 30, this is 90, what's this part? Like add them up. Right in a triangle, 30 plus 90 plus what is going to give you 180? So you get like this part has to equal 180, this part has to equal 180. Yeah. Or take like 180 and subtract it, you know, and then it'll give you the missing part. Okay, so what kind of triangle is this one? Okay, it's a right triangle. What about, you know, that the two sides or two base angles are equal? These are both 45. Yeah, but this is like 6th grade math. It's like basic shit. You can do that. You have two base angles, you know.
What was the question?
You have two base angles congruent. They are those exactly. Okay, that's if all the sides and we're getting closer. If all the sides and all the angles are equal, it's equilateral. Starts with a 9. Isosceles,
Oh,
yay!
but I didn't think that was right.
You're right.
I thought that's what all of them were too.
That's stealing. That's not all. Alright, so we know that these are 45. That means the two sides across them are also equal. So what's this one going to be? Side. Other side. This would be 6 too. Like if this one's 6 and this is 6.
Yeah. So just same angle.
Okay, so we have any triangle. So I gave you guys, this is 30, this is 30. Okay, this side is 5, what's this side gonna be? There you go. That's it. No.
And then it's going to
There we go, so the other, okay, good. Because you have a right triangle here, right, so to get the hypotenuse, you use a square plus b squared plus b squared.
So are we looking for hypotenuse?
Yeah, well, you want to get every single side. You need the perimeter, so you gotta add them all up. So you gotta find all of these sides. Yeah, but you want simplest radical form, so we gotta, we'll think about what it came from. Good, so 30, 60, and 2. So if we take the square root, it becomes, good, yeah, 6 radical. This is 6 radical 2. That's good. Alright. Okay, let's see. Now this one's a little bit tougher because we only have one side. This is hard. What do you guys think we're going to use to find? We got to find one of these, so what about if we try to find this one? How would you do that? If it helps you, just look at like this triangle over here. Something new so job.
Oh. Oh my gosh, okay.
It's just up to you how you want to handle it. There's multiple ways to start with. Okay, so you want to do A. Good, and this would be the. Alright. Okay, so then you went up with this one?
Yeah.
Okay. You picked a harder one to do this, so that's fine. Okay. So you did. Right. So you have, what would this do with the O's and the A? Okay, good. Then you have to use tangent.
Yeah.
Right? So tan of 30 is going to equal the opposite over the adjacent, 6 over x. Now here's the tough part. If you did one of the other ones first, you could have got cosine or sine. Right? If you did the 60, you would have used and then the adjacent, the opposite. Actually, it would be plus 2. We put our x up here, it would be easier. It's always tough. That's fine, we can still keep going. Alright, so since it's talking about in radical form, we can't use our calculator for any of this stuff. I know. How can we figure out the tangent of 30? Good, nice job. We have to take the sine of 30 over the cosine of 30, which I will use your order of pairs. This is like saying 1/2 over radical 3 over 2. You gotta copy, change, flip. Those cancel out. So we get 1 over radical 3, but is that okay?
Yeah. No.
Sad. Yeah, sure. This is really radical 3 over 3. That's what the tangent of 30 equals. So what we have to do is we have to take out the tangent of 30 and put this in this spot. So tan of 30 is radical 3 over 3 has to equal, what did you do it? 1/2? Or no, 6 over x. This part's easier. How would you solve this for x? Hi.
When you're done, I'm going to talk to you about something with an athlete. Apparently now there was something was going on, but it was very kind of overstretched.
Oh, great.
Yeah, an embarrassing thing. So I kind of want to remove that person, but I want to talk to you before I do that.
All right. I love it.
There's like a, yeah, so I'll hang out, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
They're almost done, like, maybe like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
So,
right back to
okay. Okay, so, I know. Alright, so let's see, this is going to be x radical 3. 6 times 3 is? It's okay. So we divide this by radical 3.
Really hard.
No, this one, like, it's not, like, not everyone's going to try it. You might get 2 points, it's fine. Okay. Alright, do you leave it like this one? No. rationalize it. So
Has
it's,
it been on the region?
yeah, that's right, region. I have faith in you, it's okay. So 18 divided by 3 is 36.
And then we have to add them all up.
Oh my gosh, yeah, so this is gonna be
I get lost in my own words.
6 radical 3. Now from here, this is not added yet, but how could you figure out those quadrants? When you know you have 2 sides at least. A squared plus B squared plus C squared. So if we did the A squared plus B squared plus C squared, you could do it. 6 squared plus 6 radical 3 squared.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So okay, what's 6 squared?
36.
36.
And then 4.
Alright, well wait, is this one term or 2 terms?
2 terms.
2 terms, good. So think about it like this, if you did 6 radical 3 times 6 radical 3. What would you multiply that with? Yeah, like the first and the inside part. So 6 times 6 is 36, because that's 36. Now if you multiply radical 3 times radical 3, what's it just going to be? 3, good. So say, 36 times 3. What's that? 108, good. Plus 36. Alright, so now I'm going to take the square root here. Oh, I'm sorry, I should add those first.
12. Wait, 144.
Good. And do that, and then you get C equals 12. If you guys put your X, put your X up here to start, that'll be easier. Then if you do like cosine, it's fine. You don't have to do all the crazy radical stuff. Okay. Right, it'll make it much easier. So your last step here is to add everything that you had together to find the perimeter. So like 12 and 6 are like terms.
Yeah.
So 12, good, so 12 plus 6 is going to give you, 12 plus 6 is 18, right? Now these last two, are these like terms? Did everything radical? No, so you gotta keep them separate, that's it. So 6 radical 2 plus 6 radical 3. And that's their final answer. It's really long. I might give it as a bonus. Maybe.
Should do that.
Oh yeah, sure.